Hello there, very good evening and welcome to the News at 6, where we get you the day's top developing stories from India and across the world. I'm Tracy Shilshi and here are the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi continues on the Jungle Raj theme in Bihar, claims Lalu Prasad will remote control the administration if the Grand Alliance comes to power. Supreme Court refuses to enhance punishment from life imprisonment to death for Nitish Katara's killers, says murder was neither heinous nor an honor killing. Outrage in India over reports of a Chennai woman's hand being chopped off by her employer in Saudi Arabia. The government demands stern action against the accused. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal announces the dismissal of his cabinet minister at a press conference. The Food and Environment Minister Asim Ahmed Khan had allegedly taken a bribe of 6 lakh rupees. And the Tunisian National Dialogue Quartet is awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. The group was chosen from 273 nominations for helping the nation's peaceful transition to democracy. But first, in Bihar, continuing from where he left off on Thursday, the Prime Minister today lashed out at the Grand Alliance and called for a change in government in the state. After a hectic Thursday where he addressed 4 rallies, Modi addressed 2 rallies today in Sasaram and Aurangabad. Here's a detailed report.
Scaling up his Jungle Raj pitch, Prime Minister Narendra Modi warned that RJD chief Lalu Prasad Yadav will remote control the affairs in the state if the Grand Alliance came to power in Bihar.
जरा बिहार के लोग इतना तो पूछिए कि लालू जी इस बार चुनाव के बाहर क्यों है? रिमोट कंट्रोल से बिहार को चलाना चाहते हैं। वो कहते हैं मैं बिग बॉस हूं, बिग बॉस। मैं जैसा कहूंगा ऐसा इन लोगों को करना पड़ेगा।
Addressing a rally in Sasaram, the constituency of Dalit leader late Jagjeevan Ram, he also trained his guns on Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar for getting Jitan Ram Manjhi removed as the Chief Minister of the state and accused him of backstabbing Dalits.
उन्होंने वो पाप किया है जिस पाप की सजा बिहार दे के रहेगा एक दलित के बेटे को जो बिहार का मुख्यमंत्री बना उसकी पीठ पे छुरा भोंका गया और उसको सत्ता से बेदखल किया गया अपने निजी स्वार्थ के लिए किया गया.
Manjhi, who now heads Hindustan Awam Morcha Secular, is an NDA ally, was also on the stage when Modi attacked Nitish on the issue of Dalits. Modi also targeted all the 3 parties of the alliance, JDU, RJD and the Congress, on the issue of governance, asking as to what development they carried out in the last 60 years when they ruled the state.
ये स्वार्थ बंधन है, कुर्सी का स्वार्थ है, इसलिए ये चुनाव में इकट्ठे होकर के आए हैं. अब उनका जिम्मा है वे 60 साल के अपने काम का हिसाब दें.
BJP has been targeting the Grand Alliance, saying with Lalu being a part of it, there will be Jungle Raj too in Bihar if the combine came to power. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the RJD today moved the Election Commission against Prime Minister Narendra Modi for his remarks against party chief Lalu Prasad Yadav. On Thursday, Modi took on Lalu Prasad at a rally in Munger, accusing the former Bihar Chief Minister of targeting him through controversial remarks. Lalu too slammed Modi, blaming him for using disparaging and insulting language against him and the Yadav caste. The RJD complaint said that the remarks coming from none other than the Prime Minister disturbed the political atmosphere and the idea of free elections. They urged the political panel not to allow him to address further rallies.
प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जिस तरह की भाषा का कल इस्तेमाल किया, शैतान शब्दावली का, वो सिर्फ लालू प्रसाद जी के लिए ही नहीं, पूरे बिहार के दलित, वंचित, शोषित, पिछड़े, अकलियत सब लोगों के लिए प्रधानमंत्री के पद की गरिमा के अनुरूप नहीं है. ये राजनीतिक शब्दावली बिहार के चुनाव के माहौल को दूषित कर रही है.
On to more national news, and Nitish Katara's killers Vikas and Vishal Yadav have been spared the death penalty. The Supreme Court has ruled that the 2002 murder was not an honor killing and so could not be included in the rarest of rare categories. Vikas and Vishal Yadav are serving a 30-year sentence for Katara's murder. Nitish Katara's mother, Neelam Katara, had moved the Supreme Court seeking the death penalty for them. She had argued that the murder was in fact an honor killing. A bench of Justices Jagdish Singh Kehar and R. Banumati said that while it was a murder that could even be premeditated, it certainly was not heinous nor a matter of honor killing.
With all due respect to the Honorable Supreme Court, because I have felt that they have always looked after my interests and I have full faith in the judiciary of this country. But so maybe somewhere we could not present our facts as well as they needed to be presented, and there are some lacunas left. The Supreme Court, of course, has said that it is not a heinous crime, it's like any other crime. There is nothing I can say in that. My counsel will take it up later on. I am truly disappointed is about the honor killing issue, because I know that the legislature in this country will not bring out a law on honor killing or honor crimes.
India has strongly reacted against Saudi Arabia after a brutal attack on a woman who was employed as a domestic help. Currently, the victim, a resident of Chennai, is recovering in a hospital in Riyadh. India has asked for strong action against her employers.
External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj expressing India's outrage over a Saudi Arabia resident chopping off an Indian woman's hand. The victim, who worked as a domestic help, had tried to escape from her employers a week before. India lodged a strong protest and asked Saudi authorities to take strict action.
We had raised the issue on the 7th of October itself with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and asked for strict action in the matter and severe punishment for the sponsor. Separately, mission officials have met the chief as well as the investigating officer of the police station and have requested that Mrs. Muniratnam's statement be recorded without further delay, an independent probe be undertaken on the incident, and a case of attempted murder lodged against the sponsor.
हमारे काफी लोग जो बाहर जाते हैं वो कुछ बहकावे के अंदर चले जाते हैं, उनको पता नहीं वहाँ पे क्या करना है, क्या नहीं करना, क्या रूल है, क्या रूल नहीं है, और इसीलिए हम हमेशा कहते हैं कि आप जो रिकॉग्नाइज्ड एजेंट्स हैं, रिक्रूटिंग एजेंट, उन्हीं के माध्यम से जाएं.
Vellore resident Kasturi Muniratnam was working in Riyadh as a domestic help since July. Like many others, she had gone to Saudi Arabia through an agent who promised a monthly wage of 80,000 rupees to take care of an old woman. But after starting work, she told her family about the alleged torture.
வேலைக்காக ஏஜென்சி மூலமா போனாங்க. போய் 3 months தான் ஆகுது. அவங்க வந்து 1 month வரைக்கும் எதுவுமே அவங்களுக்கு எந்த ப்ராப்ளம் இல்லை. அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் பிரச்சனை போல இருக்குது. அவங்க மகன்கிட்ட அவங்க ஃபோன் பண்ணி சொல்லி பேசியிருக்காங்க. இந்த மாதிரி எனக்கு கஷ்டமா இருக்கு, பயமா இருக்கு, இங்க வேலை பார்க்கறதுக்கு மொழி தெரியல, எதுவும் இல்லை, நான் வந்துடுறேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி பேசியிருக்காங்க.
Muniratnam is currently recovering in a Saudi hospital. Her family has sought financial help from the Tamil Nadu government. Thousands of Indians travel to Arab countries every year to work as domestic help and laborers. Most of them end up being cheated by fake agents and human traffickers. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the barbaric incident has also put the focus on the agencies that recruit women. Not all of them, of course, are legal, and many of them into illegal human trafficking. According to the latest crime figures, more girls and women are being trafficked from India than ever before. Here's the report.
A domestic help's hands hacked off, allegedly by her female employer in Saudi Arabia's Riyadh city. And a Saudi diplomat booked for raping and torturing 2 women as domestic helps in Delhi. Incidents like these are highlighting the role of human traffickers in setting up vulnerable to such cruel treatment. Each year, their networks send thousands of women to countries like Gulf. Young girls and adult women both are equally vulnerable in their hands.
Migrant laborers who are going from one state to another in search of work, they get trafficked because they don't have access to government machinery to understand their rights. It's just the profits. There are huge profits to be made from using labor, which is, you're not going to pay them good wages. You're going to pay them very poor, or sometimes you don't pay them any wages at all.
Immoral trafficking makes up for 76% of the trade. 3,351 such crimes were filed in 2014. The trade in minor girls went up from 237 in 2009 to 2,025 in 2013.
We have people brought to India from other border states, countries like Nepal, Myanmar, Bangladesh, and also that it is also keeping these women here, young girls and children, and also there's a transit because they then are transited through Nepal, Pakistan border and other areas to other countries. So it's a really very, very special situation that we are in India.
Overall, human trafficking has expanded over the last 10 years. Tamil Nadu leads with 9,701 cases, followed by Andhra Pradesh with 5,861 cases, Karnataka with 5,443, West Bengal 4,190 and Maharashtra 3,628 cases.
We believe that victims need to get holistic help and support from the government and the larger community. For this, the government should ensure and enhance the benefits that they have access to so that they don't fall prey to unscrupulous elements, recruiters, contractors, so that they have livelihood options.
Trafficking of young girls carries punishment from 3 years in prison to life imprisonment. The biggest problem is the conviction rate. The last 5 years have seen only 23% such cases end in conviction. Anshu Jaising's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
In fact, Dr. Tina Kuriakose, R&D specialist at the International Justice Commission, joining us in studio as well this evening. Doctor, if we could just talk about the Saudi Arabia incident firstly. Just that less than a month back, Saudi Arabia, in fact, was chosen to head a panel of the UNHRC. That in itself, of course, coming with a lot of negative criticism against that move, but that in itself also shows the kind of juxtaposition as far as, human trafficking or human rights violations are concerned, that the UNHRC also, chooses a country like Saudi Arabia to head an influential panel.
Yeah. Tracy, the recent incident of the maid's hand being chopped it reminds me of another case which happened in 2013, and this is a case which is running with the Supreme Court right now. It's the palm chopping case of 2 migrant laborers who were from Odisha and were violently abused by an employer. Yes, it is true that cross-border international migration has significant vulnerabilities. But the recent US TIP report, Trafficking in Persons report of 2015 says that 90% of India's trafficking problem is internal. So I really I want to congratulate the government for putting its foot down and saying that stern action must be taken. This act of violence against a poor woman should be treated as attempt to murder. And we look forward to a similar effort being taken internally also. Recently, the Ministry of Home Affairs, through the National Consultation on Trafficking, has really shown its commitment to dealing with these issues, and we really look forward to more solutions on this.
But, like the report just before we started speaking also cited that such incidents, despite the fact that there's a lot more awareness about issues like this, there's a lot more centers where victims can actually reach out to. The number, of course, of human trafficking rising. What is the cause? What's the reason of all this?
Yes. There are many reasons, Tracy. The fact that you have a poor woman going from southern India to the Middle East, a country where she would not have access to her family, will not have access to people outside. There's something that's driving her to a country such as this. And that's a similar story for Indians who move from state to state.
Yes.
It's poverty, it's hope for a different future. It's someone giving that hope but exploiting them in the process. Bonded labor, trafficking, these are similar stories. It's a borderless organized crime and we need to deal with it.
Absolutely. And also speaking about awareness and, about such centers, are there enough, according to at least as what you see, are there enough across various states, at least in India, for people of, people who are suffering in this manner to reach out to? And is there also a need on a one-on-one level? I mean, for example, if I see something happening in a neighbor's house, to actually come out and report and, somebody taking it seriously as well?
Definitely, Tracy. I mean, it's very often easy for us to say that the government must do a better job and we need more infrastructure. But just creating more infrastructure is not the solution. There is definitely a place for capacity building. Say, for instance, the government recently in its consultation has said that anti-human trafficking units have to build capacity to deal with the problem. You need dedicated staff. But the communities, the people who fail to recognize these problems, we have a role to play. And if we work and assist the government, I'm sure that we are looking to a brighter future, that justice for the poor will be possible.
Absolutely. You couldn't have put it right. Dr. Tina Kuriakose, thanks so much for joining us, helping us understand this story further. Like we're pointing out, of course, it's going to take years for this problem to get sorted out, but one step at a time.
Thank
I
you
guess,
so much.
at least for the moment, of course, the Indian government, where it comes to this particular case of Kasturi, hopefully we will be able to see some positive steps in that front. Meanwhile, let's take a quick break here on the news at 6. And coming up next, we're getting you some sports news. And Sania Mirza and Martina Hingis eye yet another title this year as they reach the final of the China Open.
Today we bring to you the Negotiable Instruments Amendment Second Ordinance 2015.
I think the ordinance in itself has created or made it much more easier for the individual borrowers to go and file a case wherever this is happening.
This has provided an immediate relief to all those small borrowers and the small businessmen.
Whenever we are working with fund houses and they have been, lending money, there are multiple check bouncing cases which we are facing on a daily basis.
Watch Law of the Land, Sunday 10 p.m. and Monday 8:30 a.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. Let's get you some news from the national capital. And Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal today sacked his Food and Civil Supplies Minister Asim Ahmed Khan for alleged corruption. At a press conference in Delhi today, Kejriwal asked for a CBI inquiry over allegations that Asim Khan took a bribe of 6 lakh rupees from a builder. Khan has been replaced now by Imran Hussain. This is the second major change in the Aam Aadmi Party government since he took charge in February this year. In June, Law Minister Jitendra Singh Tomar had resigned after he was accused of faking his college degree. Kejriwal emphasized that he decided to act against the corrupt minister without any prompting. However, Kejriwal's political rivals have taken a dig, claiming several members in the AAP cabinet face corruption charges.
हमारे कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर आसिम साहब के खिलाफ भ्रष्टाचार की एक बहुत संगीन कंप्लेंट आई है। इस कंप्लेंट को सीबीआई को हम रेफर कर रहे हैं और इमरान साहब को उनकी जगह नया मंत्री रखने जा रहे हैं। भ्रष्टाचार से कोई समझौता नहीं हो सकता और यही संदेश हम सारी पूरे दिल्ली एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को देना चाहते हैं, सभी मंत्रियों को, सभी एमएलएस को, सभी अफसरों को देना चाहते हैं।
Party which was formed to fight corruption, 1/3 of his ministers in less than 8 months have been caught on corruption and have been forced to be removed on corruption. So instead of taking high moral grounds, I didn't see even a single trace of remorse or apology on the face of Arvind Kejriwal.
In a very short span of time of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal's rule in Delhi, we have seen all kind of charges against ministers in the cabinet, and in fact ministers of cabinet have been sacked number of times within this short span of time. It shows that those who had come to give alternative form of governance in fact are embroiled in corruption, domestic violence and charges which are quite heinous.
Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi is on a 2-day visit to Karnataka. Soon after his arrival at the Bengaluru airport, Rahul left for Mandya to meet families of farmers who committed suicide in the district. In the last 6 months, the district, known as the sugarcane belt, has seen 56 suicides. The number is the highest in the state, which has seen 541 farmer deaths in recent months. Rahul also visited the family of the farmer who committed suicide just hours before his visit. Later, he held an interaction with a group of progressive farmers and students at the Zonal Agricultural Research Centre. After the meet, Rahul attacked the centre for being insensitive towards the plight of farmers in the country.
The central government does not seem to think agriculture or the Kisan is important. Whether it's the issue of MSP, whether it is the issue of Ola or bad weather, crops being destroyed as a result of weather. The government does not seem to have a strategy, does not seem to give priority to the Kisan. And this is a very unfortunate thing. Farmers are committing suicide in large numbers. The central government needs to do something about it, and the Prime Minister needs to take a look at this and help the Kisan of this country.
Now, after 4 days of uproar, proceedings returned to normal in the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly today, but unruly scenes were witnessed outside the Assembly building. Independent MLA Engineer Rashid, who was thrashed by a few BJP MLAs on Thursday for reportedly hosting a beef party, held a sit-in protest outside the Assembly. He, along with his supporters, protested the alleged sabotage of the beef bill as it was not taken up for discussion in the Assembly on Thursday. They were later detained by the police on charges of ghirawing the Assembly. Now turned away by Shiv Sena in Mumbai, Pakistani singer Ghulam Ali will perform in Delhi now. The Kejriwal government decided to host the singer after his show scheduled for today was cancelled. However, political rhetoric continues on whether India should encourage cultural engagements with Pakistan at a time of increased ceasefire violations and terror attacks.
On Thursday, Delhi's Culture Minister Kapil Mishra had extended an invitation to legendary singer Ghulam Ali to come and perform in the national capital. On Friday, Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal announced that his government will host the singer sometime in December. The West Bengal government has also expressed keenness to host Ghulam Ali in Kolkata, but no date has been finalized for that yet.
प्यार भरी मोहब्बत भरी मुलाकात थी उनको दिल्ली में बुलाने के लिए अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने फोन पर उनसे चर्चा की है और दिल्ली में कार्यक्रम करेंगे वो दिसंबर में कर सकते हैं प्रोग्राम और अगर अगले महीने भी उनके कुछ कार्यक्रम दिल्ली में होते हैं जो पहले से फिक्स थे तो उसमें भी हम सब लोग जाएंगे और सुनेंगे उनको
उन्होंने फरमाया कि आपको दिल्ली भी प्रोग्राम करना पड़ेगा इंशाल्लाह दिसंबर के महीने में मैंने उनसे बोला है अर्ज किया है कि इंशाल्लाह आपने याद किया तो मैं दिसंबर में जरूर
Two of Ghulam Ali's scheduled concerts in Mumbai and Pune were cancelled after protests by the Shiv Sena. The party said such concerts could not be allowed at a time when tensions remain high at the Indo-Pak border. Despite the BJP's efforts, its ruling partner in Maharashtra remained firm on its stand to cancel the shows.
गुलाम अली हमारा कोई व्यक्तिगत दुश्मन नहीं है। शिवसेना देश भावना के साथ जुड़ी है, ये देश की भावना है। अगर केजरीवाल जी और ममता जी को देश की भावना नहीं समझते तो मुझे लगता है ये देश का दुर्भाग्य है।
कभी भी महाराष्ट्र की सरकार ने नहीं कहा कि हम गुलाम अली साहब के प्रोग्राम को नहीं होने देंगे, बल्कि महाराष्ट्र की सरकार ने पूरी तरह से कहा कि हम पूरी सुरक्षा देंगे। अब आयोजकों ने उसको कुछ लोगों ने अगर जो है वो उस पे आरोप लगा दिया, कुछ लोगों ने उस पे जो है वो कह दिया नहीं होने देंगे और आयोजकों ने होने से मना कर दिया, तो उनकी समस्या है। लेकिन जहां तक सवाल है, हम कभी भी सुर और संगीत पर सियासत को न स्वीकार करते हैं, न हम मानते हैं कि सुर और संगीत पर सियासत होनी चाहिए।
The Shiv Sena's stance drew flack not only from rival political parties but from Bollywood veterans as well. Earlier, Pakistani High Commissioner Abdul Basit had expressed disappointment over the issue, calling it a setback for cultural ties. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
International news, and the Tunisian National Dialogue Quartet has been awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for its role in helping the country's transition to democracy. The group of 4 was chosen from a whopping 273 nominations, which included names like Pope Francis, German Chancellor Angela Merkel, and the Iran nuclear deal negotiators. The 2011 Arab Spring that began in Tunisia brought down the government of long-time dictator Zine Abidine Ben Ali, but the country fell into crisis in the years that followed. The Nobel Committee said that the quartet had made a decisive contribution to the building of a pluralistic democracy in Tunisia at a time of political assassinations and widespread social unrest.
The quartet was formed in summer of 2013 when the democratization process was in danger of collapsing as a result of political assassinations and widespread social unrest. It established an alternative, peaceful political process at a time when the country was on the brink of civil war. It was thus instrumental in enabling Tunisia, in the space of a few years, to establish a constitutional system of government guaranteeing fundamental rights for the entire population, irrespective of gender, political conviction, or religious belief.
And now let's get you some action from the world of sports in Sports Beat. The Indo-Swiss tennis combine of Sania Mirza and Martina Hingis reached the finals of the China Open. The duo defeated the Chinese pair of Chen Liang and Yafan Wang 6-2, 6-3 in straight sets. The pair will next face the winners of the match between Casey Delacroix, Yaroslava Shvedova and H. Chan and Y. Chan in the other semi-final. Indian men's hockey team defeated New Zealand 3-2 in the third test match to take an unassailable 2-1 lead in the four-match test series. For India, Dharamveer Singh, Rupinder Pal Singh and Ramandeep Singh scored a goal each. India lost the opening match but won the second game 3-1 at Nelson on Wednesday. Chile registered their first win over Brazil in 15 years after beating Brazil 2-0 in the 2018 World Cup qualifiers. Eduardo Vargas earned the first goal for the hosts in the 72nd minute. Later, Arsenal star Alexis Sanchez scored a goal in the 90th minute to seal the victory for his team. Argentina suffered a shock 2-0 defeat to Ecuador in the opening round of South America's 2018 World Cup qualifying tournament. Frickson Irazo headed a goal in the 81st minute to give Ecuador a shock lead. A minute later, Antonio Valencia consolidated the win for Ecuador in a match that looked to be heading for a goalless draw. And that's all we have for you on the news at 6. Thanks so much for joining us.